Hey guys, it is Friday evening and it's just about 5:10. Let's see. Sorry. Um, we had a lively afternoon live session, live stream. So we'll see what Friday night brings. Generally speaking, weekends are fairly quiet, but you never know. Friday, it's not too late, 5 o'clock. Probably people are having dinner, but we got different time zones. So who knows? I am done eating for the day. I'm usually done my last little meal, and it's pretty small. My large meal is late morning to early afternoon, as I want the majority of my calories to be early, so I shift into that rest and digest mode. So by the time I'm ready to go to sleep, my energy isn't diverted from digesting, and it goes fully into rest. And it's helped considerably. Um, The problem I had with intermittent fasting was to get the calories that I needed at the time. I was ultra running, um, and I would extend my fast to 20 hours, sometimes more, which means I had to force to get a lot of calories in a short period of time. Which, no matter what time I went to bed, I still wasn't, because it was so many calories. I was still in the process of digesting, and it became very stressful on my system. The things that we do from the time we get up until we go to bed have a great impact on the quality of our sleep. And our sleep has a great impact on the quality of our life. So for me, because of issues that I was having with anxiety, with panic attacks, um, and with um, insomnia that was induced because of the anxiety, I had to make some changes. And I had a pretty structured routine at the time. And as mentioned before, I'm a meditation teacher and breath work. I've been a long time, decades since I was a kid, practitioner of yoga. And I thought I was doing everything right, but it's just little adjustments, and you need to make them as we get older. Things change, so things have to change accordingly. You can't do everything you did when you were in your 20s once you hit your 40s or 50s. Um, and man, 60s are fast approaching for me. Interesting thing to consider. There was a time when, well, I thought a 60 was pretty old. Doesn't seem so old now. I just did today my 900th day of burpees in a row. And before that, I was still working out every day. So I don't know actually how long it's been since I took a day off from doing anything. I mentioned earlier in my burpee session when I talked about reflecting on 900 days in a row. Um, People have often mentioned, shouldn't you take a day off? Shouldn't you rest? If you're training for something, wouldn't you make better gains if you took a day off? And they're absolutely correct, except I'm not training for anything except to train every day. Um, that's my only objective. And to be good at training every day, you got to train every day. Um, I've spent a lifetime chasing after things, fitness goals, even spiritual meditation goals, which are self-sabotaging, although we don't know it yet. And I actually think that we need to make some goals before we can let goals go, if that makes sense. Um, we need to participate in the paradox. Runner Boy is here. Runner Boy, what's new? Hey, you said your video was coming up, right? Let's see if I can find it. This was your live stream session. How your watch hours doing, Runner Boy? Doing, Runner Boy? I'm bringing up my desktop. And I'm clicking on Runner Boy's channel. And his live is up. We're going to have to check that out. I'm a little behind. 242-pound bench press. Well done. Hey, what's your body weight? Runner Boy says his pull-up rings arrived. Awesome. I have a set of rings. I had them hooked up to my pull-up bar. I haven't used them in quite some time. I enjoy doing ring work. Ring dips, pull-ups. Our friend Hybrid Jim does extensive work on the rings, as does Paul from Oregon. I haven't been to Paul from Oregon's page, and I haven't seen any updates. So let's pay him a visit. 77 kilograms right now. That's a good weight. You look solid. Erica Point says, how many watch hours do you get a day? Lately, it's been anywhere from 40 to 50, which has come a long way from the 3s and the 4s. The live streams. No one watches my burpee videos. Even very few people in the burpee community watch them anymore, because I sort of de-emphasized, not the burpees. I mean, as I said, this is 900 days, but I'm not chasing after the reps. I'm not doing anything super hardcore for some while. When I was doing a lot of finishers, and I was doing a lot of the Busy Dad hardcore 20-minute stuff, seeing how many I can get. When I was shooting for 120 Navy SEALs in 20 minutes, or pushing for 256 counts, I got quite a few views. You know what, though? Everything comes in circles and waves and cycles. Eric Point says he saw the bench. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Eric Point says, well, I'm going to add some other stuff, I think, to my channel. I'm not sure what yet. I want to get back to reading some of my own stuff. And I thought about doing some reviews. Very short reviews. Minute and a half. Stuff I like. I don't give bad reviews about anything, because, what's not good for me might be good for someone else. Runner Boy says, you need 11 hours every day for 360 days to get the 4K, so you will get get that fast. I'm hoping to get it by Sunday or Monday at the latest. Honestly, guys, I might actually be there, because I'm 69 watch hours away, and it's only counted up to, I'm bringing it up right now, it's counted up to, I have 3,931, and it is counted up to June 9th, 2024, and so that's 5 days, minimum 4 days, uncounted. So even if I drop some hours, I should still be over there. So it can be done. It can be done by a small channel. I'm by no means anything big in any of the subgenres. Not super big in the burpee community. I'm not super big on the live streaming. I never even attempted to work into the yoga community. I really didn't have any agenda other than uh, sharing my own stuff, my own thoughts, and supporting people. And that's enough. That's enough for me. I definitely have no need to be a star. That's a nice way of looking at it. 11 hours every day for 360 days. Because that's, if you do live streaming, it's entirely possible. Eric Point says, I think I got around 23 hours today. Yogi, thanks to you. But all my lives are still processing. Um, you know, live stream, and I think Runnerboy agrees with this. Live streams are the way to go if your goal is to monetize. It doesn't have to be the main goal, but it's a nice little objective, a nice thing to do. Especially Runnerboy and you, Eric Lapointe, and I'd say every one of our friends that comes here and participates, you all have a really good message. So why not make a little bit of money, whatever that is, off of your creation? I think of it all as artwork, every little bit of it. Eric Point says, I bet you're there. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping to check it on Sunday morning and see. Especially because I didn't start doing live streams until July 1st last year. And it was only Burpee people who showed up and listened. So I wasn't getting them in that many hours. So I'm not really dropping too much right now. That was the issue with UK Medic, was he was losing all those valuable hours. But it was just a matter of everything evening out, which it did. But I think it's not going to even out like that for me. Let's see. Runnerboy says I'm averaging 7 hours a day right now. I bet if you did, because you get a lot of people showing up, I bet if you did 2 live streams a week, you'd be there for sure. So one day when I have more people here, I should ask, is there anything people would like to see on my channel that I'm capable of? Is there any topics that they'd like to introduce on live streams to talk about? Mocha's here. Mocha, how are you? Runnerboy says, maybe I'll do my arm workouts live. What I'm thinking about doing is a arm workout live would be good. I want to do a review of the Canon one-shot that Mocha gave me for my birthday, early birthday present. And it's not the type of review that most people, when they click on a review link, that they get. It's basically would be talking about why I love something. Both Mocha and I learned a long time ago the value of complimenting people, especially people in the service industry who always get crap. And very few people go to management and say, I have something to say about this person. And you can see the look on the management's face like, you know, this happens all the time. And then you just say all kinds of good stuff about them. And it makes, one, the management so happy. It makes that person happy. And it actually makes me and it makes Mocha happy. Runner Boy says, hit the likes, guys. Runner Boy says, yeah, I appreciate that, guys. I've been thinking, I was telling Mocha about this earlier, with that little handheld camera, when I'm walking, especially when I'm doing a training walk, so I'm going at a good clip in my walk, which is usually anywhere from a 13 something pace to a 14 something pace. When I was in my um, ultra walking heyday, I was doing uh, in the 10-minute miles walking. My best walking 50K was, and it was actually 50K plus. It was about 36 miles, and I did it in 7 hours and 15 minutes, I think. Anyway, you get your heart rate up. Carrot, Carrot. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing your name. I apologize. If it makes you feel any better, I've mispronounced everyone's name here, including Eric Lapointe. You would think that would be an easy one for me. Runner Boy says, my live video quality is very bad for some reason. Don't know how to fix it. I have the opposite. My workout quality isn't all that great. But the lives, because I'm just here in front of a camera, not doing anything. Maybe you need to upgrade to like an actual camera. Are you using your phone or are you using something else? Runner Boy says, I did a half marathon, no water stopping last year. Awesome. Runner Boy says, Kakarot, is that it? Kakarot is a anime character. I know so little on the ways of the world. Runner Boy says, phone, I don't have a computer to edit. Yeah, I don't do any editing. So anyway, yeah, you get the heart rate up. You guys ever watched any of the pentathlons, cross-country skiers? And I don't know if any other sport gets their heart rate as high as a cross-country skiing event. Cross-country skiing, and then they come to a target, and they get into a prone position, and they have to shoot at the target. So you instantly have to lower the heart rate, control the breath when you take that shot. I get the same feeling with my little handheld camera. I get my heart rate up. I'm out walking at a good clip, and I see a deer, I see a fox, I see something that I want to film. I bring my little handheld camera up, and I got to calm the heart rate. I got to control the breath. Everything gets very still, and if it works, I get a really nice shot. If it doesn't, never the camera's fault. Always my fault. In truth, it's not even my fault. It's just the way things work. So I'm thinking about doing a little review like that of the camera. Runner Boy says, say it like Kakarot. Kakarot. Kak or cock? Kak. I'm going to go with kak. Kakarot. Well, regardless, I hope all is well with you, my friend. Appreciate you stopping by. Let's see. Winter Boy says the fledgling birds are out today, getting fed by parents still. Yeah, we just had, we saw ducklings for the first time this year. The goslings, the baby geese were out. They were out in May. And man, am I glad that they are grown up. I've rerouted several walks to avoid upsetting geese families, mothers and fathers. As I mentioned before, I don't mind, because imagine the devotion, hormonal or otherwise, of a mother duck that I've seen actually with geese. I've seen them walking across the road, family of geese, the young, and some car kind of edging forward, getting a little too close, and the mother goose is ready to attack a car or a truck, how many times its size. Imagine that type of love and devotion. And then weigh it against me walking 20 yards out of my way. It just, for me, why cause that hormonal spike in a goose when I can just add an extra 20 feet to my walk? I hope I get some nice shots of some. I'm really hoping to get some fawns, which should be here. I just haven't seen them. I'd like to get some baby fox, baby anything. Let's see. So here's what I like with Eric LaPointe. For one, 270 subscribers. Two, he's making his channel uniquely Eric LaPointe. He's got his burpee videos and he's making it in his own style, mixing things up nicely. He's giving people shout outs. He's having conversations, supporting other people, and he's got great nature videos. You just love seeing things like that take shape, where you got that starting point and some raw material, and you can see the sort of, what would I like to do, what would I like to share, and then you just see it all starting to come together. And that is the same with Empress of the New Earth. We all find our footing. I think we continuously find our footing. It's part of, any artistic expression. It's supposed to be fluid. Look at Picasso putting out some of his best work in his 90s. Look at Monet doing the water lilies. I love the water lilies. And he was near blind, I believe in his 80s when he did the water lilies. I have to look that up. Goldie says, hi there, lovely people. Hello there, lovely Goldie. How are you? Brother Boy says, we have a local duck pond about 2 miles long with a path around. Very nice, lots of geese you are allowed to feed. Awesome. We are not supposed to feed our waterfowl here. I'm just looking around YouTube real quick. So we haven't seen Night Watcher or Flower today. Goldie is resting her leg. You ever do a warm bath with like Epsom salt after a long day? Soaking your feet in as hot as water as you can get, with Epsom salt as well, but it doesn't necessarily have to be with Epsom salt. About half an hour before you go to sleep will really help you fall asleep faster, as well as improve the quality of your sleep, because we fall asleep easier and sleep better when we pull heat from the core of the body. So when we soak the feet, your core drops energy into the feet because of the hot water. So the core is cool, the feet are warm, and you'll end up sleeping better. Almost sort of counterintuitive. Goldie says she has. Eric Point says, sorry, I was talking to someone. So I spent the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the conversation praising Eric LaPointe's channel. And did he miss the whole thing? That's okay, because I'll circle around back to it. I honestly feel, I can honestly say every channel that I support, I could devote so much time to every live stream to talking about them. Again, YouTube gives everyone that opportunity to express the creativity of their lifestyle, whatever it might be. So we're going to look something up real quick. If I can get Google up. Cody says hi there to Eric LaPointe. Eric LaPointe says not the whole thing, just a minute. I'm wondering how old Monet was. When he did Water Lilies. Hey, speaking of that, guys, who are your favorite artists? For the longest time, I would have said Vincent van Gogh. Goldie says her daughter. That's a perfect answer. Eric Point says, I talk about you every live stream. I appreciate that. I imagine maybe a quarter of it might be some actual good stuff. I gotta admit, you guys had me laughing in the afternoon live stream. Cody says I have varicose veins in my right lower calf. When exhausted, the leg swells up. I'm sorry to hear that. Have you tried compression? Wearing a compression sleeve? So, Monet began his series of the Water Lilies 1914 at the age of 73. So yeah, for a long time I would have said that Vincent van Gogh was my favorite. And I still love his work. But something about the softness of Monet's paintings is calling to me now. And I think it's age. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Age, but with some people, age hardens them. They become old, they become bitter. They think about the things that they've lost, the things that they've never done, the things that they'll never do. But you know what? Life, the entire process of life, should break us open. Monet died in 1926, 1 year before my father was born. It's interesting to consider. Who was alive when our parents were born? Who was still alive? Or grandparents? As my grandfather was born in 1883, it opens up a whole lot. Hey, did you know let's see. Sorry, guys. I can't remember who it is. U.S. President. Oh, Tyler. President Tyler. who was born in 1790. He was, let's see, 1 year after George Washington was sworn in as president. And he has 2 grandchildren still alive. He had, I'm just looking that up right now. He had, I think he was in his 80s. Let's see, here it is. He was 63 when one son was born, 75 years old when his other son was born, 1928, or his son was. John Tyler became president in 1841. So we have 2 grandchildren of the, I think he was the 8th president in 1841. 2 grandchildren still alive. Yogi says we didn't realize, was I asleep or hypnotized? Probably asleep. I think I lack the power and charisma to do any hypnotizing, but I do think I have just enough charisma to put someone to put someone to sleep. Goldie says my grandpa was already born when Monet died. Yep, both my grandfathers were born. My mom's father was born in 1904. Eric Point says, I like when the story of the artwork is explained. I recently got 30,000 likes on a comment of a painting. Wow, that's awesome. What painting was it? So I don't know how I was talking about Monet, and then I got started talking about President Tyler. Weird. No wonder people fall asleep or get hypnotized. Anyway, back to liking Monet and the softness of his painting is I think life is supposed to break us open. It's supposed to wear us down. We're not supposed to get hard in our old age. We are supposed to become more open and accepting and loving. Gordy says, yeah, that's a new level of exhaustion. If I could accurately close the day and count the money while asleep. Interesting. Count the money while asleep. That would be nice. And then there is Picasso. Who lived to be, he died in 1973. So I was alive. I don't think anyone else in this chat was alive in 1973. Were they? And he kept expanding. You could not pigeonhole Pablo Picasso. He was age 91 and he stayed active painting his entire life. Goldie says, you said that your father was born a year later after Monet died, and that did it. And you went on a tangent of who was still alive when our parents were born. Seriously, what I need, I appreciate moderators, but it needs to come with a electrical shock button to keep me on track. When I fall behind, you hit the shock button. When I go on a tangent, you hit the shock button. Let's see, Eric Point says, I'll see what the painting was. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Goldie was born in 1980. And I know that because I remember you saying that you were 44. And Eric Point says, nope. Goldie says, I considered that. Nope, we'd enjoy that too much. Just enough. You would do it, you would enjoy it not enough to hurt, but just enough to see me jump up and do a little dance. Eric Point says, I like the way you think, Yogi, about the electric shock. The mind definitely goes in circles. Joe Delaney says, hello, Yogi, and everyone in chat. Hello, Joe. How are you? Hey, speaking of art, creativity, Joe Delaney, in my opinion, is the ultimate artist. She had a vision of her body, literally sculpted the end result, and still going. It's important to have that vision. I've been fortunate to be able to do some pretty amazing things with my body. Bulking up to a pretty heavy weight in order to lift heavier, losing a ton of weight in order to run farther. Joe Delaney says, Eric Yogi, I have some news I want to share with you. Awesome. Let's hear it, my friend. Oh, Eric Point says, no, about who was alive in our parents' lives. You know what? I think we lose track that we are history. We're connected to it. It's not distant. Joe's going to see if she can share a link. You know, Mocha is her father's black and her mother's white. In many states, in my state, Maryland, it was illegal for her parents to be married. And when I first moved here in this county, schools were still segregated. Just amazing to think of how much is, you know, man, we bemoan how hard things are, how terrible things are. And yeah, they're not easy, but things have changed. Things have gotten better. We've eradicated certain diseases. We've improved. We're living longer than ever before. I don't know if we're living better than ever before, because now we have diseases of affluence, diseases that people get from excess, too much. And we're definitely in a consumerism, but we should never lose sight of all the good stuff as well. Let's see. Okay, see if you can view this. Let me get back to my desktop, and I'm going to click on the link. I'm going to put the sound on, and we're going to listen to it.
Good morning and welcome back to Yogi with Goga Pick of the Week. If you join us for the first time, feel very welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back again. Please subscribe if you haven't already, just to keep you up to date as soon as our new videos are up and running.
Awesome. Your transformation requires your healing. Guest Joe Delaney. That's huge. Well done. And the notice. In her early 30s, Joe Delaney faced the daunting reality of being morbidly obese at 526 pounds, grappling with spiritual and emotional turmoil alongside mental instability. After a remarkable 350-pound weight loss, she sits with me on the anniversary of her dad's memorial to share her story, including the crucial process of healing internal trauma for holistic health, and also offers us a peek into her positive, healthy lifestyle post-transformation. In her 50s, has successfully maintained her weight loss having healed her mind, body, and soul along the way. Through her journey of faith-centered growth, dedication, and consistency, she speaks to us on the importance of addressing the root cause of weight gain to prioritize overall health. That's absolutely awesome. This is June 23rd, in case you guys couldn't open the note. June 23rd. It's a big day. I will be there, my friend. Absolutely, 100%. And I just subscribed. I'm getting all notifications. It's a beautiful, beautiful description. What I absolutely love is every weight loss story, it seems, that I read about is always about diet, exercise, motivation. Very little, what I see is talked about inspiration. Very little is talked about the healing that Joe talks about. That people don't gain weight by accident, and it's not from overeating. It is from trauma. It is from being seriously wounded at some point in their life where the only type of comfort that they can turn to that is stable and they think provides for them what they need emotionally is food. Food is always there. Food is always present. Food is easy to turn to. Food doesn't complain. It doesn't criticize. So it's so easy to turn to. And if you don't heal that traumatic relationship, if we don't heal the fact that food was turned to because we were so wounded at one time, the weight doesn't stay off. And you're not truly healed. You might have lost weight, but you're not truly healed. Anyone who watches any of Joe's videos can see that she is healing. I don't know. I like to think about us all as healing. I don't know if we're ever healed because life continuously makes new wounds. That's just the process of life. So we're all healing, and we get to heal other people with us. By allowing yourself to be broken means that you're now spacious enough to hold other people on their journey as well. No one does that better than Joe Delaney. Joe Delaney says, well, I had the opposite of that. My good half of my good friends were black, and it wasn't even a problem. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. I was in tears when he asked me, and I'm so humbled. And it's another avenue for Joe Delaney to share her wonderful healing story, and such a huge opportunity for so many people to be healed. That's awesome. Joe, thank you for sharing that here. Very much appreciated. Just reading that, I felt my eyes begin to tear up a bit. Turning back to Eric LaPointe real quick. In this town that I grew up in, it was an oasis. It was based upon equality from its very inception. It was based upon mixed incomes, living in the same area. It was definitely an isle of peace. I'm not technically in the South, but we're not far from the South. Maryland likes to consider itself a southern state. But technically it's a mid-Atlantic state, as my father, the science teacher, would point out. So yeah, I grew up in an area where it was just everyone got along. I had a friend who went away to college in the South. He went to college in Georgia, and he came back on a break, and he told me, we got together, that, Eric, I never realized I was black. And I was like, what do you mean? how did you not realize? And he said, no, what I mean is I never realized that black was a thing, that I would be treated differently because I was black. So as great as my hometown is, it also put a cocoon around. We were untouched by a lot of that racial tension that was going on. So the people who left, not all of them were aware of that. I'm certainly thankful that I grew up here, though. Joe says Goga is from Kenya, and he wrote that himself, his synopsis of my journey from my video I've shared. I was so humbled. Humbled's a good place to be. It's a good place to share your journey. That's for sure. Really looking forward to this. Today is the 14th, so we are talking less than 10 days, 9 days from now, guys. Please make sure to tune in. I hope everyone could see that. How did he discover you, Joe? Eric Laporte says that he understands. So yeah, you grew up in Connecticut. So I sort of see Connecticut in the same way as I see my town. It's the times I've been in Connecticut just seem to be a very progressive, and I don't mean politically. I just mean lifestyle, progressive lifestyle. So did you guys get a chance to click on that link? Absolutely awesome. As a matter of fact, what we need to do is share this. And I want to share it not just on my community page. So that's what I'm going to do now, because I don't want to forget. I'm going to share it across my social media. So it's going up on Facebook. And should I say Twitter or should I say X? It'll always be Twitter to me, guys. So it is now up on Facebook. We got one more. Hey, Joe, are you, I think I asked you this before. Are you on Facebook? And the link is going up on Twitter or X, whatever the case may be. Actually, I need to share it twice on my community page. Actually, because I want to make sure that I shout out the channel as well. There we go. All shared out. That's awesome. Joe is on. I think I follow you on Instagram. Let's see. Let me catch up. Joe says, I was in tears when he asked me. I'm so humbled. Sorry I wrote too fast. My good friends were back, and it was not a problem, just normal. Goldie says, 5 watching. 2 of them are me. I appreciate both of you, Goldie. Joe said I had a friend in his chat. I met him. Awesome. Joe, we shared it on my community wall. So I have it shared twice on my community wall. I have it shared on Facebook, and I have it shared on X, Twitter. And one of them is me, Goldie. I appreciate you being here. I think Medic stopped in to listen for a bit so he could make sure to drift off and have a good night's sleep. Eric Point sub 2. It looks like a very interesting channel. I'm looking forward to diving in. And of course, it's always great to meet a fellow yogi. Goldie says, Eric McCarty had a short message from T. Get WhatsApp. So there was a possibility of a straight line. Yeah, I was going to download it on my desktop. And then Nightwatcher said I had to get it on my phone and then download it on the desktop. I don't know how that works. Joe says, I'm not, and I haven't been on X since it was Twitter. I mainly go on X to 2 reasons. I share my writing, which I also share on my community page, and I go to check out Richard Runs Trails. Medic is always lurking somewhere. Eric says, I appreciate you on my live stream. Speaking of that, I appreciate you both being there at, I know for Eric it was 5 in the morning. I don't know what time it was for Medic. I still appreciate you both being there. Medic says, happy to support Eric, and any help you need, just let me know. Have you checked out Eric's 270 subscribers? Absolutely awesome. Speaking of which, let's go to Joe Delaney's channel. Joe is at 185 subscribers. Nice, Joe. Very nice. Steady growth because of a beautiful message. Let's see. Joe Delaney said they absolutely loved your videos. And I have a question for UK Medic. Medic says, I'm not a yogi. I'm a boo-boo because I'm smarter than the average bear. Well, the average bear, but the slightly more intelligent bear. I think we need to have a chess match. William Downey says he wants to change the name of his channel to just the boo-boo doing push-ups in his garage. Goldie says, are you guys ready to be shocked? Yes. Nightwatcher was on 2 of my lives today. Awesome. I didn't know you did 2 lives. I haven't seen Nightwatcher all day. Joe says, okay, so I've only edited videos on my phone, but I'm sure it will be easier on my laptop. But I create my videos on my phone, so I would have to send them to my computer. Yeah, personally, I'm not a fan of extra steps. Joe says, how hard would that be? If anyone knows, it is UK Medic. Let's see what his answer will be. He wants to know what kind of phone. Eric says, it was a lady on my chat that got me 100 subscribers in like 1 minute. That's awesome. Eric Point said he did 3 lives today. Wow. It's addictive, isn't it? I instantly fell in love with doing lives. My very first one. I just got a bit of a rush. Goldie says, I only go to Twitter to follow the gossip, usually on the UK royal family. There was some recent gossip on Twitter, well, maybe not on Twitter, on the UK royal family. What was it with a painting of King Charles or something? Joe Delaney has a Samsung gallery. I have a Samsung as well. Eric says, I was riding on a tractor, so I figured why not? I always have that option. It's true. And hey, how many people get the opportunity to experience a tractor ride like that? And to see the landscape from a tractor. See the Connecticut landscape. It's a good idea. So, gossip of the royal family. There's definitely a lot floating around. I think our friend Barb is live. It looks like. All right, let's see. Hey, Eric, are you going to post your lives or just let them go afterwards? Because I guess you have that option. But if you post them, then people get a chance to see the follow-up later. Because I can't believe you went live 3 times and I missed all 3. I apologize. I would love to catch them. So Medic says, okay, Joe, your phone has an app called Samsung Flow. If you download that app to your laptop or PC, you can send pics from phone directly to PC wirelessly. Interesting. Hey, Joe, you do a good job editing on your phone. Eric Point says people did like the view. Yeah, I bet. It's a unique perspective people don't get to see. So I knew, and Joe Delaney knew, I think we all knew, that UK Medic had the answer. Wolf says she's closing to have supper. Awesome. Wolf, how are you, my friend? Barb's here. Blessings, everyone. The live stream before this one that I got to hang out with for a while with Barb was a beautiful live stream. Barb was relaxed, open, sharing, dropping such important information, continued the conversation about spirit guides, offering a great prayer. It is a pleasure to spend company there, and an honor. Medic says, any problems, Joe, hit me up and I'll walk you through it. Awesome. UK Medic is a good man. I think that's evident, and it is evident, but you know, sometimes it's good to see the depth of that, how far he'll go in helping someone just be their best creative self. So I mentioned before, the biggest props that you can get in the burpee community is salute. So salute to UK Medic. Barb said that is okay. I was laughing at the trolls. You know what? I also thought you had a really positive message for the trolls. You were asking people to leave the hate behind. Um, yeah, that was beautiful. Goldie says, and the painting of Princess of Wales, the cover of a magazine. Isn't it surprising that things like that can still be considered scandalous, I guess? Oh, Eric Lapointe says, I went to, but say they are processing. Okay, so I guess they'll be coming up eventually. Jeremy and Trolls Cruise Adventure says, hey everyone, Jeremy and Trolls Cruise Adventure is a wonderful channel. You guys all know that by now. I've never been on a cruise. I've been on a ferry. That's cruise-like. Couple ferries, actually. One from Sault Ste. Marie crossing Lake Superior going into Canada. That was a lot of fun. And the other one was crossing the Bay of Fundy from Bar Harbor, Maine to Nova Scotia. And then we drove up the coast of Nova Scotia into New Brunswick, back into Maine, and we hiked up Mount Katahdin. However, if I ever thought of going to a cruise recently, it would be because of Jeremy and Cheryl's Cruise Adventure, their live show. They present it all, the whole aspect of what it's like to go on a cruise, and they definitely have me thinking that it would be fun. But that's not why I go there. I go there because they're fun people to hang out with. It's just a good, entertaining time to spend. It's like you're hanging out with friends, even better, especially if you know my friends. And it's like you're watching a morning talk show. Barb says, Eric, it does take time to process. And she says, hi. And thank you so much. You're welcome, my friend. So for me, I listed those qualities of gentleness and defenselessness. And Barb really seemed to sum that up in her talk. She presented it in a different way. She talked about meek, and how that's often taken to mean lack of strength, lack of conviction, when in fact it's actually the opposite. Our true strength is found in gentleness. Hey, Eric Lapointe, have you visited Jeremy and Cheryl? I see Barb there quite often. Barb says, yes, but it takes a lot of time. Going to try this. I have some editing to do. I have never edited a video. I admire the people who have that, not just skill, but the patience for it. I think editing is as much, maybe even more, of an art form than the actual filming. But it's a painstaking labor, but it's definitely a labor of love. You see that all over UK Medics videos, that it's definitely, you're definitely experiencing love when you watch one. Barb says, they searched my name and found some stupid article, which was not me. Goldie says the only reason her portrait created controversy is because it looked nothing like her. I'm gonna have to look that up and see what it looks like. Carl Sherrill says, "Enjoy your weekend." You too, my friend. I appreciate you being here. Medic says, "I have some amazing cruise ship drone videos as they leave Southampton in the UK." Hey, so who here has been on a cruise? We know that Jeremy and Cheryl have been on a cruise. If Jeremy and Cheryl let me count the ferry, I'm going to say yes. Goldie says, as for the painting of King Charles, the 3RD, my daughter took issue with it, but when I explained the concept and asked her to look at the 3D, look at the background more carefully, she ended up loving it. Interesting. I haven't seen it. Interesting, her perspective changed. Eric Point says, "Carl, we will. Thank you." Goldie wishes him a great weekend as well. Eric Point says, "I want to say yes. I've been there." On a cruise? Goldie says, "Working 12 hours." Carl had a really nice live stream the other day that I was fortunate to spend a little time there. And I'm thankful that he has come here and spent some time. Barb says, "Amazing fried shrimp that were fried up. Awesome. Glad that you're enjoying dinner." Barb says, "Nope, just traveled the lake by New Orleans. That was enough for me. Bad weather rocked the boat." Hey Barb, how far away are you from New Orleans? Carol says, "I'm volunteering for 14 hours tomorrow." Wow, it's a long day. Medic says, "I was watching some dude on a tractor cruising the strip. I was expecting drag racing. It was quite disappointing." And always disappointing when, you expect something big from the tractors and they just plod along. Although I gotta admit, when I was a kid, I went on, I watched some tractor pulls, and that can be quite entertaining. Eric says, "Not him on cruise." Medic was on a MSC cruise, and the cocktail barman was a robot. I hope the mixed drinks were okay. Barb says, "Medic wanted to drag race with my wheelchair. No one took my offer." And not Ant. Goldie says to UK Medic, I want to see that too. Point me in the right direction. Barb says 4 hours. Nice. Do you make it there fairly often, just to visit, or do you tend to avoid cities? I'm 20 minutes away from Baltimore. 15, 20 minutes. I haven't been there in several years. I used to go there to go to bookstores. When I was drinking, I went to bars there. Barbara's on the Texas side. About 30 minutes from Texas. Nice. I spent a long day in Texas. Tyler, Texas. What I mean long is I was only supposed to be there for a day, and the flight got canceled, and then the next flight ended up taking me to, instead of going to Baltimore, we had to make a stop at Atlanta, and then I couldn't get another plane in Atlanta. I had to spend the night in the airport. It was a mess. So a day trip took a day and a half. Maddox says I only filmed him, but don't drink. Yeah, you mentioned that the other day. You don't drink. Wolf says, but Eric switched to an ATV, and that was much faster. It's a shame that Burpee Reaper didn't see that. Or was he there? Sanju, thank you, my friend. This is very much appreciated. Barb says we don't drink either. Yeah, neither do I. I quit in 1999. Never looked back. Our friend Sanju is back. Very much appreciated. Barb says, used to when my aunt was okay. It is too big. Stay away. The stuff that happens is awful. People seem to really love New Orleans, or they have that, what Barb said, stay away. Taking my little herbal supplement. Goldie says I don't drink either, but we had Sheridan's for my daughter's graduation. What is Sheridan's? What kind of alcohol is that? Bennick says Eric would have loved the ATVs we had in Iraq because they had a machine gun mounted on them. Ideal for hunting. Not much left over though. Joe says I don't drink alcohol, but I love caffeine. I love my 1 cup of coffee that I have every morning. It is a sacred right. I used to love drinking coffee all through the day, but when I started to experience the anxiety and panic attacks and the insomnia, and I started making the changes, I just realized that my, as much as I enjoyed coffee, that I would enjoy it more if I limited it to 1 cup. And since I have it at right about 3:45 to 4 a.m., it doesn't affect me later in the day. A little bit of caffeine is actually good for you. Definitely promotes a cup of coffee a day, can promote brain health. And of course, green tea is very much good for you. Brown tea is good for you as well. Barb says if you drink and party, but it was so dangerous now, even those living there stay out from places. That's a shame. Goldie says it's a mixture of eggnog, and espresso. Interesting. Medic says the doctor told my wife she had a drink problem. She said no, not at all. I like it. Definitely not a problem then. Barb says, in New Orleans, there are so many gangs since Katrina. It's really bad. Amazing how much destruction still stems from that, stems from Katrina. So many lives altered, destroyed from one event. Joe says that she drinks hibiscus tea. Hey, what are the medicinal qualities of hibiscus tea? Eric says, I've cut down on my drinking big time. I drink whiskey. In my drinking days, if I wanted to drop some weight, whatever reason, I would switch to gin and tonic. But mainly, I drank beer and I did shots of tequila. And I did lots of shots of tequila and I drank a lot of beer. Medic says, one night my wife was drinking wine and she said, I love you. I said, stop that. It's the wine talking. And she replied, I was talking to the wine. I'm certainly glad she clarified. Sanju says, have you tried ayahuasca? I have not. Mushrooms, quite a few times. Quite a few times. LSD, quite a few times. And a few other things. But not ayahuasca. I have considered it. Back in my days, in my hallucinogen days, my plant medicine days, it wasn't talked of often. It was, then it was mushrooms, it was LSD. I wish that, I wish there was plant therapy back then. A lot of the, I tried to do it the right way. I tried to use plant medicine as a way of reaching higher states of consciousness, especially with going to Grateful Dead concerts, which really become a almost like a communal religious experience, spiritual experience. But it's still limiting. I think you need someone who is an experienced guide to guide you, to get the most out of it. And I didn't have that. So I wouldn't be opposed to doing ayahuasca. However, I honestly don't think plant medicine can give you a glimpse of a greater sense of reality. But meditation and breath work can put you there. You don't need the help. You don't need the aid. Barb says people was brought to Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and here. When Rita was coming, we couldn't get out. People out. They had too many from Katrina still here. Well, still here. All this time. It's been, what, 20 years now? It was 2004, right? Goldie says, I drink maybe 2 times a year. Never more than a cup Christmas, New Year's Eve, and special events like this year. And it was certainly a special event. Wolf says, I have a bottle of 18-year-old Crown Royal. Has it been opened? Here's a question. I don't know. How long does whiskey last after you open the bottle? Crown Royal Canadian whiskey. Joe says, hibiscus tea has many potential health benefits, including blood pressure, cholesterol, liver health. Hibiscus tea can help lower liver fat. Excellent. Which can reduce the risk of liver failure, detoxifying. Awesome. I have a cup of turmeric, or some people might say turmeric, and ginger tea every night after my last meal. The ginger helps with digestion as well as reducing inflammation. And the turmeric, of course, is wonderful for inflammation. Barb says, no, 2005, Katrina hit, and about a month later, Rita. Yeah, so it will be next year, I guess, 20 years. Joe says, I have those issues that run in my family, but I dislike it. That's good enough reason. Wolf says, yes, but probably won't drink it again. Was it smooth? Do you think if you opened a 1-week-old bottle of Crown Royal and compared it with the 18-year-old, would you be able to tell the difference? I've had a 25-cent shot of tequila, and I had a $75 shot of tequila. I don't know why I spent $75 on a shot of tequila, but it really went down smooth. The 25-cent shot of tequila stopped midway throat level, my whole body rebelling already. It had a slight turpentine. It actually might have been turpentine quality to it, and my body just did not want it. I had to force it down. My drinking days were ugly, guys. I was much the way I am now, but I was drinking. Gordy says, my sister, for her wedding reception, was given 20-year-old plum Tusia. I'm hoping it's a soft C. Ask Medic what Tusia is. My English is not that comprehensive. So, Medic, Tusia. First, you can correct my pronunciation. Joe says, yes, I start my day with a shot of beet ginger juice. Beet is very good for you. I used to juice apple, carrot, beet juice. Eric Point says, you know why they call them spirits? It's because they didn't know exactly why it's turned alcohol, and it was because flies would land in the mixture and deposit yeast and turn it into alcohol. And they thought it was spirits. Interesting. I didn't know that. Barb says, then a few years ago was Hurricane Laura and Delta, still trying to clean Lake Charles. Yeah, Louisiana gets hit awful hard. Always feel bad for you guys. I think Louisiana might get hit harder than Florida. Wolf says very smooth. Good. Barb says, I know it will be 20 years next year. My daughter was born in 2005. Wolf says, I think so, but we'll never find out. Some things are better left a mystery. Eric Point says, no, whiskey stops age when it leaves the barrel. I didn't know that. Barb says, I am Cajun, and growing up, even children drank in '94. I said, no more, and have not drank. I couldn't get high. Drinking did me no favors. Justin said, glad you chose to stop drinking. I had to stop myself. It's not easy. I've told my story quite a bit. In the 90s, I drank myself out of relationships and out of jobs, out of cars, out of friendships. and all self-destructive. I was never trying to hurt anyone. Myself. I was trying to hurt myself. I was hiding from myself. I was in a slow, uh, suicidal mode and kidding myself the entire time. I'm just having fun. Um, and everyone saw it. And as well, weirdly, my meditation practice deepened, grew committed, and things started dropping off. Little by little, my diet changed, my workouts changed, my activities changed, except for drinking, except for bars, until 1999. And I shared my story before. I'll tell the whole thing. 1999, I was pulled over, drinking and driving. I saw the light flash. I rationalized it that I was only driving a short distance, literally a mile from a bar to my house. Doesn't matter. Um, I lived with the shame and regret that I jeopardized people's health, their well-being, their lives. Um, and when I saw that light pop up behind me, I had this intuitive sense that if I wanted to, I never had to drink again. And I immediately felt sober. The police officer, an off-duty state trooper, um, motioned for me to roll down the window, and he said, "Have you been drinking?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, asked me if I wanted to take a sobriety test. And I said, "No need. I've been drinking." And he said, "Well, I'm going to have to arrest you." And I said, "Thank you." He couldn't have been nicer, couldn't have been kinder. Um, and I never drank again. Not only that, I never had the urge to drink again. It's as if every cell in my body was transformed from an everyday hardcore drinker to someone who just didn't drink. It was truly a moment of grace, an epiphany. I don't know why. We never know with grace. We never know with epiphanies. But I thank God every single day. I still have nightmares of being behind a wheel and being drunk. I wake up in a sweat, shaking, sick to my stomach. Um, so, Justin, I'm glad you made it through, my friend. I, I know the battle of doing it. Cody says, CSK in Romania. Wolf says, Brandy. Barb says, didn't get a headache, no buzz, no sickness, so why spend all that money? I agree. That's why I quit smoking pot in the late 80s. I felt paranoid, and I thought, why am I spending money on something that doesn't make me feel good? At first, it sparked my creativity. I felt like I could write differently and better. That was mostly illusory. Eric Point says, I used to make small matches of rum to see if I could. How'd it turn out? Gordy says, I was drunk only one time in 44 years. I was 5, and it was my parents' way of trying to make me sleep. New Year's Eve. Then they regretted the decision, I bet. Barb says, Eric, we always made home brew. When wine gets too old, it turns to vinegar. We use it for medicinal purposes then. Nice. Barb says, that was amazing, Yogi. It takes something like that to happen to change ourselves. I agree. I mentioned this earlier today. The ego is never going to change the ego. The ego is never going to be for its own eradication. The type of transformative events, they happen by grace. We can court grace. We can introduce it. We can petition for it. But grace is always unearned. I certainly didn't earn it. Eric the Point says, I'm glad you had that awakening, Yogi. Thank you. If not, I would, two things. I would be dead, or I would have killed someone. And that would have been just as bad. That would have been worse. Eric Point says, a drinking story one told. Gordy says it was communism. My parents didn't know better. John Doe says, any thoughts about being too sensitive of people's energies? Not sure how to look it up. Look up empathy. There's two understandings of empathy. There's the traditional sense that we empathize with people's misfortune, with people's pain, what they're going through. But there's also that energetic sensitivity of empathy where we literally take on the energy of other people. Our friend UK Medic does Reiki, so he might be able to speak of this as well. So that's a very, very deep sense of empathy. It's actually a gift, but you got to be careful. I think Barb might be able to talk more about this as well as Wolf. So you have to be careful when you take that energy, even inadvertently, that you do some deep cleansing work. And there's lots of ways you can approach it. Prayer work, meditation. You could smudge, which is taking sage or some other medicinal herb. So we'll see. We'll see what some other people have to add to that. How you doing, John Doe? Eric Point says, yeah, I understand, Goldie. I'm shocked you never drank again after that. Barb says, John Doe, I am that way. Look up spiritual human energy flow. Thank you for that, Barb. Goldie says, Eric, I didn't say I never drank. I said I was never drunk. I always believed that a lady should keep her dignity and not hang on to fences in order to walk. Barb says, we call people energy vamps, but be very careful. And Goldie very kindly asked, Edwin Carney, did you get your herbal sleeping pill? I did. Thank you. Barb says, some people use energy fields to protect themselves, and if you can walk into it, it can damage you, but you can recover. I mentioned UK Medic and Reiki. Reiki is it's a valuable way of sealing off your energy so that you are not absorbing it unintentionally. John Doe says, well, hello, and thank you to everyone. You're welcome, my friend. Appreciate you being here. I think we'll talk for about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to get an early night's sleep. As mentioned before, it seems my long journey to monetizing might be coming to an end, maybe this weekend, maybe Sunday. I'm at 3,931, 69 more to go, 4 to 5 days not counted. So unless I experience the same as UK Medic, I might already be there. We're going to find out. Goldie says, yes, I need my sleep too. Yeah, you got a big day tomorrow. And I can't mention it enough. that I would not be in this position without each and every one of you. Little things. You guys have done some big things for me, but the little things, just showing up and having a conversation with me, have been huge. It gave me, made me realize that there's a possibility that it actually can be done, and that it doesn't have to be. It's not an impossibility. That's the big thing. So thank you guys. Barb says YouTube gets me all the time from USA to Europe. We'll drop the hours. So Eric Point says I'm going to head out. Good night, everyone. Great, another great live. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. I hope to catch you live soon. Joe says good night, Mr. LaPointe. Barb says good night to Eric. So, with that, let's all say good night. I appreciate you guys being here. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. I do my 5 a.m. reading. Not a convenient time for everyone. But you know what? I really love those 5 a.m. talks. Interesting people are up at 5. So, if you have insomnia, come on by and say hi. And it was fun seeing Goldie. Goldie and Medic and Eric LaPointe were there this morning. Goldie says, thank you for the lovely live and chat. Thank you for making it both lovely and an interesting chat. So, thanks, guys. I will see everyone tomorrow. Take care.